Township Board meeting for April 21st, 2025 to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Westrick?
Here.
Clerk Smith here. Treasurer Horn?
Here.
Trustee Babel?
Here.
Trustee Bebak?
Here.
Trustee Klein?
Here.
Trustee Richley?
Here.
Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, agenda, I think, is this just back up? Doesn't need to change the agenda, right?
Correct.
Okay. The one for C7, did you guys see that? One of our DPW employees forgot to turn this in as well. He wants to be part of the training process. So we'll add that as C7. Other than that, no other changes before you. I take a motion to approve
Well,
this.
I have a question. Under the,
We just got this tonight. This is the current. Okay, this is the current policy or the former policy?
Of what?
The non-union retiree health.
That is what was adopted when I retired, before I retired, actually, in
Yeah,
15.
this must be the,
Okay, so
There isn't a policy now that I'm aware of. I never was aware of it changing.
okay.
You brought it up at the workshop, so then I decided to, let's clarify it and get it straight.
Okay.
So I-
All right, we'll talk about that then.
Got
Okay.
this together.
yeah, I don't think it changes the agenda, though. The only thing that
No.
changes the agenda was C7.
It's already on the
Adding
agenda.
C7, okay?
Right.
It's just backup information.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have this before the meeting, but that's all I got.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended to include C7. If there's a motion.
It was already on the agenda. Oh, I'm sorry, C7?
C7.
My
This is,
mistake.
Yeah, next thing.
Okay. So move.
Support.
Move and support, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Minutes, same thing. You guys get a chance to look those over. If there's no questions or comments, entertain a motion to approve that as presented.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Horn.
I support.
Deb? Deb? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Presentations, guest speakers, I don't think we have any tonight. Public comment. You want to speak, just go to the podium, yeah. Name, address type thing, and then carry on.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Rubino. I'm here on behalf of Baystone Holdings LLC. It's in regards to the address 4014 River Road. We are recommending or requesting that the board proceeds forward and recommends to the Planning Commission to include veterinarian services within the MC zoning. Currently, we're marketing a building for sale at this property, 4014 North River Road. And it's in the MC zoning, and we have a potential purchaser who's come to the table to own or occupy the building. It is part of an association, that medical area, and the association has approved that the veterinarian services clinic be approved to occupy the building, but the veterinarian services use is not listed under the medical campus MC zoning. So what we'd like to do here is request that the board take this to the next step and recommend to the Planning Commission that veterinarian services be included within the MC zoning classification.
Okay. Are you the representative of record that's requesting that?
Yes.
Okay. You got his name and all that?
Yep, Anthony
You
Rubino.
signed it, right?
Yes, I did sign in.
We'll check the spelling on that then. Okay. All right, yeah, I am a little bit aware of what was brought up too, and I think what would be best is if the board here would go ahead and refer this to our planning commission for what they believe that we should do. We should make that a motion at this point, or we'll just go ahead and refer that to the planning commission. Ask them to put that on their agenda.
Okay, so just a question so I'm aware. So you guys recommend that it goes to the Planning Commission, and then I assume we have a Planning Commission meeting
Right.
in order to...
We'll reach out probably this week to you to find out what they want for everything.
Okay.
And if there's any formalities that need to be, letters type thing, And then go ahead and take it from there.
So at this point, you don't need to know the size of the building or how long, anything like that. This is just a recommendation to them.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Planning
very-
Commission will want all that detail, though.
Absolutely, yeah,
Yep.
and we're prepared
Yep.
for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Olivia Prusik, speaking on the same property. Just want to add, so it's also on record, not only that veterinary business be considered medical campus, but also there is currently a point in the zoning ordinance of East China for veterinary business under general business. And that's been more the barrier of our entry is it was recommended we go through rezoning the parcel so we'd be able to use it as general business. But because there are specific restrictions on veterinary clinics, even if we did the rezoning to general business, we still can't utilize that parcel. So we're looking to ideally be converted to medical campus, but also have those restrictions alleviated, so we are able to purchase such a parcel.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me.
Anyone else for public comment?
My name's Cindy Bodett. I live at 5425 Point Drive. I'd like to ask the chair if I could have permission to speak after member comments this evening. There's, what I'd like to speak on is not on the agenda.
Well, I'd ask that you speak now during the normal period, if you can.
That's up to you, I'm sorry, as the chair.
Yeah,
If
I
you wanted to
prefer that
ask.
you do it now. Cindy, just, public comment period.
Okay, what I'd like to speak on is the Facebook posts that have been going around in the last couple of days. Speaking to the water and sewer rates and to other things, I would encourage our township members, township people to go to the water and sewer meetings. They're open to the public and listen to what's going on. They would understand better how those businesses, they're basically businesses, are run, each plant. And another thing is the raise that this Facebook post has been saying that the township board members received, and that it was for meetings that they go to. The township board members have not received a raise in that quite a number of years. I think that the township residents should understand that, and that it's not an exceptional amount of money for the amount of time that it's been since any of the board members were awarded that raise. And there's other things in that post that are not true, that township board members have vision insurance and have other things. And my husband was on this board for 34 years, and we never had vision insurance. We never had some of the things that are being spoken on. Anyway, I would encourage the township residents to make up their own minds and not read Facebook posts. I'm sure that some of the information is probably correct, but I think that residents need to look into things for themselves and know that they have the right information and not things that are being posted on Facebook.
If it's on Facebook, it's not true, then you're saying? Possibly? Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any comments for public comment period? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. C1 is financial reports. C2 is departmental reports. C3 is professional development and training. C4, Park Commission meeting minutes, February of 25. C5 is Historical Commission meeting minutes for March of 2025. 6 is professional development training request, and 7 is also professional development training request is added there. And entertain a motion to approve those as presented unless there's questions.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Then moved and supported. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Disbursements. Ms. Love?
Payroll, $33,727.82.
Accounts payable, $84,952.28. EFT is $11,814.11. E-checks is $302.30. Tax account is $6.64. A voided check of $140. Invoices, $121,043.23, for a total of $251,706.38. And I make a motion to approve.
It's been moved. Is there support?
Support.
Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call vote, Supervisor Westrick?
Yes.
Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebak?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yeah.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't see any unfinished old business. New business, the dangerous buildings order. This is also a public hearing for such. So I'll be conducting the hearing.
I'll make a motion to open the hearing at 7:11 PM.
Okay, been moved. Is there support for that?
I'll support.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, is the owner present of the building right now? Pardon me? Okay. You'll have a chance to speak. We're going to ask the building official to go over it first, and then from there, so. Yeah, he gets to go first. He's on a time clock.
Good evening. Thanks for hearing our entertainment as the show cause as to why 5750 River Road should not adhere to the order passed down by Dangerous Buildings on January 14th. So the building burned 3 years this past March. So there's been no action as to remedy the situation there. International Property Maintenance Code sections 108 through 110, it has many bullet points that this building hits on as far as what a dangerous building is. There's open access to the rear of the building. I'm assuming that the owners have had various contractors coming and going, real estate agents coming and going. So they take the plywood off the back of the building, but they don't put the plywood back up. The plywood's in place to keep children from going in and out of that building and causing harm to themselves. The last time I was in there was January 14th, and there's light fixtures dangling halfway in the at head level. The place is completely charred. There's half of the roof in the back has got charred trusses, so it will need some work, or whatever you folks decide. So that's pretty much the current situation there. So if you've got any questions, I'd be glad to entertain answering them.
All right. Any of the members of the board have questions for the building official on this?
Have you been in direct contact with the owners?
The owners asked several times, along with their real estate agent several times, and real estate agents that wanted to purchase it several times, and a few contractors.
Okay.
Okay?
I've read through okay.
Okay.
All right.
Anyone else have any comments, questions?
Thank you very much.
I wasn't done yet, Tracy.
Should release me. Sorry about that.
There was some deadline set, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
There was some deadlines set?
The deadline's passed, but I believe it's up to the board here to extend it 60 days past tonight. Is that correct? If you so choose.
Okay.
Okay?
What was the deadlines for?
The deadline was to pull a building permit to remedy or a building permit to demo,
Okay,
neither of which I've received in the office.
okay. All right.
Okay?
So we're here because nothing's really happened since?
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if no other questions, then I'd ask that the property owner go ahead and present what they have.
This is the permit, this is the asbestos report for the demolish. This is the purchase agreement. So yeah, it's been burned for 3 years, you're right. I posted for sale by owner, and it did not work because every time they call Tracy, he keep telling them it's not worth it. They call me back and they say the same thing. I give it to my real estate, they did the same thing. So when they give us the period of the time, Tracy is here only 2 days or 1.5 days. They keep calling him, they cannot, because they need to know what to do, where's the next step. First, we were planned to demolish the building, but after that, I had a buyer, he wanted to make it as a Coney Island. I contacted Tracy, he said, yeah, but you don't have enough parking lot, you can make it as a dining in. After we talked to the buyer, and I called Tracy again, he said, no, you're not allowed to make it as a dining in, you can just change it to retail or whatever. After that, I have a purchase agreement from, I think everyone know Mike Batchelor. He sent me the purchase agreement in March, and I signed it. April 1st told me that he backed up, he doesn't want to buy it anymore, and he sent me the money, whatever, the down payment, we put the $1,000. And between March 6th to March 12th, I had to drive to California because my grandma was about to die. They told us to go there and say bye to her. She died March 12th. I'm gonna email you the death certificate too. And April 1st, I called Tracy. I said, okay, the contractor wants to talk to you to submit the permit, which is the deadline wasn't passed yet. He said, no, we're gonna send it to the hearing, or we're gonna have a hearing. And I don't know. I have everything done, and it's up to you.
Is this Friendship Engineering, the company that you had go out on your behalf on April 8th to check this out? They went on April 3rd, but the letter's dated April 8th. Is that true?
What is this? Sorry,
They inspected the building for you?
One was for inspecting, yeah, the one with picture. The other one, the asbestos report, whatever it's called, so to demolish the building. Because first I decided to demolish it. And Tracy requested this report, so I had a company who came there and they did the report for me. And after that, because I had so many buyers, 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, someone called me, because they still have my phone number, asked me to buy the building, and they called Tracy. They said, if we buy it, are we able to remodel? He said, they told him that he doesn't know, they have to contact someone else, he doesn't know. If no one answered the buyer, the one who wanted to buy the building, who's gonna give them the right answer?
Well, according to this Friendship Engineering, they're saying that they think it can be saved. Is that right?
Yeah, so if he approve it, we can start working in the building.
You can't do anything until you get a building permit to do so. You'd have to do that. You'd have to come up with a set of plans that would meet current code.
One of them, it said whatever we need to work in it. So if Tracy approved the thing, we can start work having someone else, because we already talked to so many people who came and checked the building and gave us the estimate.
Have you filled out a building permit application for that?
No, what is this? I don't know.
To do any work in the building, you'd have to fill out a building permit application for what you're going to make the building into, what type of use it's going to be, and basically a set of drawings.
We were planning to make it as just white box, and
What's that? You want to make it what?
just a box. We just clean everything, remodel it, and just with 4 walls.
For
Empty building, right? Just to make it safe?
Yeah, just to make it safe.
Then you'd have to apply for such a thing with...
The one of them is the one who asked for Tracy, the one of the reports. Let me see, the one...
Is that the asbestos?
I'm sorry?
Is that the asbestos report?
That's this one. This is what we need to work at.
Yeah, I saw that. I was actually seeing the building too.
There was a contractor, may I speak? There was a contractor out of Detroit that approached our office about doing a demolition job there, and I told him we needed an asbestos abatement report because it's a commercial building.
Right.
Never got that report, so I...
I asked you if I need to email it to you. You said, no, you don't need it.
Well, before we can issue any demo permits, he would need this. Other than that, you didn't receive any requests for building permits or demolition?
I never received an application to even refuse it, so...
Right.
So I can only deny an application, and I never received an application.
Right.
Yeah, on April 1st, I called you to send it to you. You said, no, you're not gonna accept it anymore.
That's because this meeting was already set, so I can't stop that.
No, April 1st wasn't set yet. You
Right,
told
the
me you're
time has
gonna
already
send it
passed for
now.
that. He wouldn't be able to accept that permit application anyway, unless this board decides otherwise, since you've missed the deadlines for that. So what is your wishes, or what are you asking for us tonight?
To give us more time so we can start working in it.
Okay, more time to start working in it, as in what?
Like the permit, it's already like, he's already the one who did the evaluation. He's gonna do the permit at the same time. I already paid him and everything is done. And he has a construction company who's gonna work.
Friendship Engineering, is that right?
Yes,
And they are a licensed contractor to do
yes,
that?
sure.
And they
He
would,
called you, Louis. He talked to you.
so are you gonna demo the building, or are you gonna rebuild the building?
So like after, I have both reports. If it's not gonna cost me a lot of build the building, I'm gonna build it. If it's like, because the demolish price was like not that high, but like, they recommend me just to build it and sell it is gonna make more money. That's why like I wasn't, and I had purchase agreement in the middle of the time, like from Mike Batchelor and like whatever, like so many people who was interested to buy the building. So that's why we just stopped, and we need more time to decide what to do.
It's been sitting there for 3 years. I don't know how long you've owned it.
Yeah,
but-
because as I told you, I have a real estate, and I have a lot of people who are interested, but as I told you, every time they call, oh, it's not worth that money, it's not. And I didn't want to lower it that much because I spend a lot of money in the building.
Yeah, it appears to be that it's been boarded up, and I don't think anything else has been done simply because you can't without a permit to do so. You guys want to take a look at any of this?
No.
Okay. So you're saying that you need more time and leave it as it is to try to sell it?
No, we're gonna remodel it, for sure, because the contractor, the one who came and saw the building, he said it's not gonna cost that much, and it doesn't need that much of work. It's like just an easy job.
Okay, I think it might take more than you think, but that's not either for me to decide. So you're requesting that you're going to fill out an application for a building permit,
Sure, yes.
and then you want to remodel it to its existing state of a party store?
No, I don't know, I'm gonna just remodel it and yeah, and
You're
sell
going to have
it.
to tell us what you want to use it for. because we
Like I
have
was
make sure
planning
that
to
the
do
use is
maybe the
correct.
dark home, whatever, or like any, like, for example, vape shop, I'm not sure. Like between those two, I was like, or storage, so I'm gonna see which one is gonna be like much more cheaper for me, and we're gonna go from there.
Can they ask for a building permit without a use?
Not necessarily, she mentioned storage. That doesn't fit in the criteria, and it's not an intended use. So it's very limited. It's just like there's folks that came in here to ask for us to expand a medical campus. Every zoning district in this township has a intended use. It can be used for a retail outlet like it was. It cannot be a restaurant because that's not in the intended use.
Right.
So storage is not in the intended use.
The way I'm reading this is, we are not dealing with the intended use at this point. We're literally only dealing with the shell of the building.
Right, yeah.
Whether we want them to demo it, or can give them 60 more days to bring the building up to code. Is that what I mean, that's it. That's all we're,
No, bringing it up to code means a lot of things based on use, right?
well, a safe building, like it spells in this
And its
document.
current use, right. Okay. Is there any other questions of the board for the owner?
I guess just like if we do extend it, then you would go through the process to actually bring it up to par, or no?
بس عم بدي ادخل للبكره. Yeah, we're gonna, like we already have someone who we already talked to and we already sent the evaluation report, and we're just waiting, like we already talked about the price, and we're just waiting for your approval so we can start working in it.
And you want to repair all the damage?
All the damage, yes.
Well, that's what we're after.
What were you gonna say?
I just want to caution everyone to, they can, as a non-builder, but a property owner, pull their own building permit, but there's still 3 trade permits that will be required there, mechanical, plumbing, and electrical, and those have to be performed by a licensed professional. So they can't have their brother-in-law, their cousin, or whatever do the work. It have to be done by a licensed electrician, a licensed plumber, a licensed mechanical contractor.
Yeah.
And the building needs all 4 things.
Yeah, it's a commercial building. It falls
Yeah, it's a
under, you
commercial.
can't pull a homeowner's permit for any of that.
Oh,
I
okay.
just want that to be out there, that's all,
Okay.
okay?
And you understand all that?
Yes, the company I'm working with, they have all the other, like, all of other, like, they built the whole building from zero to, like, they are really good, so.
That's what we want.
I don't have any family member who work in construction, so.
Is there any other questions?
It would be nice to get the property brought up to health safety standards and not an eyesore any longer.
And your reason for missing the dates is you took more time to get this, or what?
Yeah, and as I told you, like everyone I talk to, they have to talk to Tracy, and Tracy's here only 1.5 days. If there's someone else we can contact or talk who's available all the time, it's gonna be easier for me.
You're talking about prospective buyers contacting them. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I entertain a motion to close the public hearing then.
So moved.
Mr. Richley, is that right?
Yep.
Is there support?
Support.
Support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, as a board, I guess, what are your wishes? There's some options presented here.
I would like to see the building improved and brought back up to standards, improve our community. I'm 29, it's right in the middle here. It's
That's
been
what they
a
want to do, right?
derelict, unsafe building, eyesore, yes.
Yeah.
So I would support
I do
that
too.
action to bring
Fix
it
it.
back up to, standards for the building codes.
So if that doesn't happen within 60 days, if we extend it 60 days, I want to know what would be the next, what would then happen? It would come back here and then we'd have to make another decision?
I believe so.
Well, we are working in it, and we're not done with the 60 days, that would be okay.
I think we want the ball rolling at least quick.
Right.
Yeah, there needs to be measurable progress made, and I don't know what that means, but
I don't, yeah.
Well, here it's been an eyesore for 3 years. It looks terrible, sitting along 29 there. So in 60 days, can you do something that makes it look like it's going to be presentable? And that's, if you want to save it, you got to do it anyway,
Yeah,
right?
how long have you owned it?
hold it, like 2021, 2022.
So you owned it when it burnt?
I own it after, and it burned after like 6 or 7 months, I'm not sure, or 1 year, I'm not sure.
You've
Yeah,
owned it,
only 2021.
you've owned it for 4 years? Okay. And you didn't want to do this anytime before or now?
You know what's the problem? Like, I had a lot of interested people to buy it. That's why they told me we want the way it is. That's why they stop me from spending money in it, because I was thinking, oh, are they gonna buy it? Why do I spend money? And I had really good offers, but like, they always back up, or after they talk to Tracy, they change their mind. Someone called me, he said, oh, the city is not gonna let you do anything with it, and I'm gonna buy it from you for 10,000 only. I said, oh, I'm not selling it to you for 10,000. So like people will only get, in the beginning they show me that they are interested, and after that like they change their mind. That's why like.
Welcome to real estate.
I'd like to see some plans or something.
Well, I don't know that there would be
I
any.
have a buyer right now, and the way it is, like, can we sell it? Because I'm still receiving calls for this building.
I'm sure you could.
But like, I don't know, when they talk to Tracy, like one time that one lady called me, she said, I'm interested. I said, yeah, talk to her and see if you can buy it. And you told her, you don't know, like, you're not sure, she has to contact an agent. But I didn't have an agent, I'm selling it by owner.
Okay, we have some options here. The board we can choose to approve the order, without modification. Basically, they would have to comply within 60 days. That order would not require demolition. That's one option. The other one would be that we choose to approve the order with modification and it requires demolition. Basically, they'd have to take it down. You guys have talked about a few ideas. My personal opinion is I think they've had enough time and I think it should be taken down. They've owned it for 4 years, 3 years, whatever it is. This isn't the first go around with this. They've been talking about this for a long time. We finally got the dangerous building hearing officer on board here. It took us a while to do that, and they've known that. We've been going through this process for a long time. I think it's enough, and I think it's time to move on. The building's been sitting there too long. That's just my opinion. Now, it's up to you, board, if you want to do that.
That's your
give them
opinion,
time to take.
I have no opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the staff that just does what we say. Therefore, it's up to you people to decide that.
If I under the right impression here, you want 60 days to make the improvements? You guys agree to that?
I already did the halfway. I already talked.
Yeah, but here, I'm new here on the board, and, we're here to support the residents of our community. And that's been an eyesore for 3 years. I agree with Bern, it's time to make a move on it. And yet I can't sit here in good faith myself and tell you, you're asking for help, and you want to turn it around, and I can understand that too. But it can't go on forever. So all I can say is that, in my opinion, if this is the kind of commitment we can get from you, so I'm at ease with what I decide to do here, that if you can make an improvement in 60 days, where it's not sitting there like an eyesore on 29, then I can feel that I should help you out. But we gotta have some kind of commitment. You can't just say, and I understand, you got people that are offering to buy it, and at the last minute they're backing out. That's a tactic to try and get you to drop the price. But you can't carry on for 3 years just accepting bids and then having to drop out on you. We need something done with the property.
I learned my lesson. Now I'm gonna just work in it. I'm not gonna care if I receive any calls or anything. I'm gonna just work in it. So just give me the period of the 60 days and we will work in it.
I have a question. Are you going to fix it up and use it to sell it, or to put a new store in there, or?
I was planning to do it like a storage because I have a lot of people who call me to make it as a storage.
But it won't qualify as a storage in that area.
Right, it's not rezoning for that.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, solid money. I had a lot of buyers, and they still calling me to buy it.
But we're only going to, if it's 60 days, we're only going to prolong the,
But after it's done, after it's safe, I don't have any problem. After we go done and safe,
Right, but it can't sit there empty either, you know, because then it starts to deteriorate just because it's empty.
But there's a lot of empty buildings in the same road,
Right.
so they cannot, they are empty or.
So you're fixing it up to sell it then, is that correct?
That's like my 70% goal, or yeah, lease rented.
As long as it's not an eyesore. We're concerned about the eyesore, right?
Like next door, the mechanic, he asked us to rent it or buy it, so he wants the storage, more storage on his cars.
I think that's a different track. We want the eyesore taken care of.
Right.
We want it if people drive by, it looks like a decent building, whether there's
Right.
anybody standing in it or not, we don't care.
Right. They're gonna have
Okay,
to
so what they do
comply.
with it after that,
with
if they
the
bring it up to
use.
code,
Right.
that's what we're after.
Right.
But they're gonna have to keep the maintenance up too with it.
Well,
not just
absolutely.
let things
I agree.
go.
Well, that's part of the building code.
Right.
My whole thing, I see what Vern's saying, but at the same time, it's been 4 years, 3 years, whatever. I think 60 days gives you a chance, and if at that point something's not done, then we're gonna be back at square one. That's the way I look at it.
Well, then it'll be a definitive answer at that
Correct,
point.
correct,
In my
correct,
mind, it's
correct.
done deal.
Correct.
But they've already missed deadlines, and it's been 3 years. I have a concern about that.
This is like the last one, like I think that's.
But if something happens and they come and they want another extension, then another I think 3 years is long enough. We've got to do something with it, and we've asked our people to do their due diligence in working, and I tend to agree with the people that we have hired to do their work, and they have done it, and I would like to go with their recommendation. I agree with Vern. I think it needs to come down. I'm sorry, but after 3 years, I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a long process, and unfortunately, I don't know if the market's gonna get much better right now or not. I don't think so, but if it hasn't been sold in 3 years, what's gonna make it sell now?
My first hearing was in January, and this is my second hearing, so I didn't ask for so many chances. This is my first time asking for a chance. So give us the 60 days. If we're not done with it, we're gonna demolish it. I already have someone who gave me the price on the site, and we did the asbestos report for the demolish.
Anybody else wanna speak?
Well, I'm just going to read this one statement that is in this April 3rd document, Dangerous Buildings Order, 5750 River Road. So it's got, the owner was present at the hearing and was aware of the outcome. The document titled Findings and Conclusions attached was provided to the owner. The order clearly states several deadlines and requirements for compliance. 1, if the building isn't occupied, the order required permits within 45 days, which was February 28th of 25, days, in completion within 120 days. If the building will be occupied, the order required permits within 60 days and work completed within 90 days. So we could put if we were to allow them to have additional time, we could put a stipulation on if it's not completed within the, improvements are not completed within the 90 days or within the 120 days, then stop work order, done. It's over.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
I agree.
we're given a last chance
Yep.
if we're given it.
Yep.
I mean, you either get serious or you're not serious. That's,
I agree.
That's your motion then.
Well, okay, let's go further on that same letter.
okay.
It says, I ask that the board address this matter following the statute under which actions are prescribed as follows. If the owner, agent, or leasee fails to appear or neglects or refuses to comply with the order issued under substation 2, the hearing officer shall file a report of the findings and a copy, okay, not more than 5 days after the date for compliance, so on and so forth. I don't know, I just think they've been given enough time. And so, okay, so I'm trying to think. So if we do give them 60 days, and if they are working on it, they just continue to work on it?
Nope, I would say.
I mean, are we setting 60 days that everything be done and it could be occupied and they've pulled the permits, everything's been approved? I don't know.
It's saying in completion within, we would say within 120 days or 90 days if the building is going to be occupied.
I guess I want to know what the word completion means.
Well, final building permit, final.
Certificate of occupancy.
Everything done, signed, sealed, and delivered. Open the doors. Now, once the building gets done, let's say they do complete this, the project's renovated, now at that point, then it's going to have to be determined what kind of use is going to be permitted. If it's not going back as a store, that's a whole separate issue then.
That would be the case if they tore it down or did anything right now anyway, right?
True.
Correct.
So that's,
They
the
would,
thing is, right
as long
now,
as the building wasn't dangerous anymore,
well, that's exactly why we're here. I don't care what it does in the
Right.
future. We want the eyesore gone.
Right.
If they are gonna rehab it, fine.
I make a motion, we modify the order and require demolition of the structure within 21 days based on the fact that the structure has been substantially destroyed by fire. Cost of repair probably would exceed the FCV value. I think the time, we've had enough time at this point. That's my motion.
I support it.
Any discussion? If not, clerk, please call the roll. That's,
Roll call vote. Clerk Smith, no. Treasurer Horn?
No.
Trustee Babel?
No.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
No.
Trustee Richley?
No.
yes. You missing me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Supervisor Westrick. I'm sorry.
All right, that motion has failed.
Okay.
Anyone wish to do something different?
I would make the motion, but I don't know how to word it.
Well, make a motion that we give them, what was it requested, 60 days?
60
90 days and 120 days complete.
Yeah, your motion would basically to approve the January 14th order, and then it's subject to modification that they would get 60 days for permitting and 120 days after that, or whatever you want, but
Do we have your word that you're gonna do that? Okay, no, I mean, your word, you're promising that you're going to do it?
Yeah, for sure.
We want the eyesore gone.
it gives you
Okay.
6 months from today to have it done.
It's gonna be done for sure.
That's all we asked for.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So whatever Vern said,
Just,
what is the timeline then that you just said?
He said 6 months from today,
To be completed?
which would be October
Completed, completely done.
21st.
You want to do it in days, a 60-day permitting, and then.
well, I believe that 30 days is more than sufficient for permitting. They've known about this for a while.
Yes.
to be honest with you.
Correct.
Why make this any longer than it
Okay,
has
so
to be?
30 days for permitting
And if you
and,
want to add more to the end, you can, but
Correct, yeah.
yeah, I'm
if you
with
don't pull
you.
the permits in 30 days, we're going to tear it down.
We want to see something done. Yeah.
And then you have to have it done in 6 months. Still the same time period.
But
So
you
we're
need
saying-
days. Did you say, Cindy?
Well, the information, Vern, that you have, you have the option to uphold the order without modification with compliance in 60 days. What does compliance mean to you? Pulling permits?
pulling permits and starting work, right?
Well, I think that you want to say that, I guess, what you're saying is you're going to give them time to get the permits and then get the work done? Is that right?
Yeah.
So 30 days to get the permits?
Well, you're more familiar with that kind of stuff. Here, the third permit should be well within 30 days.
I would think so.
And I want to see something like the wood tore down and windows put in. You know, I want to see some structural changes within 60 days. And then if they need 120 to complete it, then that's fine. But we want to see something done, right?
Right.
That's why we're sitting here. We want the
Continued
eyesore taken
progress.
away.
Yeah.
So however you want to word that, I think,
And project completion within 120 days?
You're going to want to move to approve the January 14th order and subject to modification, that if the property owner does not draw permits in 30 days and then remedy the dangerous structure within 120 days, or 150, whatever you want to put it at, and time periods are required on the order, it's modified by your dates.
So
Yeah.
30 days pull permits, start working, project
If not-
completion within 120
If not,
days.
it's demoed.
I agree. You folks understand what we're talking about here,
Which
right?
motion, circle, what you're just,
Because if we're going to put it down today, all the deadlines, if they're not met at the end of that time, they're going to tear it down if you guys haven't accomplished your task. Okay,
So that's
I'm fine. with it.
motions for permits
are you
within
making
30
that a
days.
motion, Jim?
Yeah, make that motion.
30
I'll
days,
support.
And how long?
Okay.
30 days for permits, and then how long?
30 days for permits, folks. We're going to put this in writing and they'll get a copy of it, or what?
It's
How
going to
will
be
they-
in the minutes.
It's going to be in the minutes.
It'll be in the
This is the
To
writing.
pull a permit and
Okay,
start
okay.
working
And then
And
work
project
completed within,
completion. within 120 days
30 days of pull permits?
Is that from today? Sorry.
from when
Yes,
they
it would
pull
be.
the permit.
Oh,
and then
Within 30
you want
days.
completion within 180, is that right?
120, I think is what Sandy
Okay.
said.
Okay. And that's 120 from today.
If I may, building permits are good for 180 days from the date of issuance, if that helps
That's why
you.
you said 180.
Okay, then let
fine
it
then.
just fall in line.
Yes,
That's why I was saying the
So
180.
we'll keep it at the 120, 120 days.
Oh, no, you're going to,
fall in line with the permit process of
Yeah.
180 days to complete from
Absolutely.
the permit.
from today.
From
Thanks,
today,
man.
sorry.
180
You have 30 days to pull a permit, and you've got 6 months from today to have it done.
Today.
So if I apply for a permit, how long does it take to issue the permit?
I'll have it issued in the same week it's applied for.
Within a week.
Okay,
Is there
from
support for
today.
that?
I supported it.
Clerk, please call a roll.
Roll call vote. Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Western?
No. Okay. Motion's carried, got 108 days, okay? I suggest you give Tracy and
From today.
permit.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you want these back, or did you want to give those to the building official? All right, I can do that for you at the meeting. Okay, I'll give them to you. All right, thanks.
Thank you, so we're done today.
Good luck.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. All right, 2, closure of Fund 642. We met with our accountant. We're just going to move this around. We're going to close 642 and put it in the right spot. Where is that again? General fund supports this fund with a transfer. Did you guys read this?
Yes.
Okay. You know what we're doing now. Okay? This is housekeeping.
I'll make that a motion.
Your support?
Support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right. This is workman comp, they could do an audit. I'm very familiar with these.
Two.
And they'll always dream up something where they've got to reclassify. I wasn't really agreeing with the times that they were telling us. They went off our time cards, basically, and said that, working in this building is more dangerous than working on a sewer line, but I disagree with that, but I have no choice in that matter, so I'll shut my mouth and be done with it. Just want to put that on record. Basically, the workman's comp, payment we owe with $3,070 from the audit, and that's what you have to do it. So,
Right.
make a motion, we move that. $3,070, pay the bill from the audit.
Did you say you motioned?
Yeah.
I'll support.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes. Okay. Okay, roll call vote. Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebop?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yeah.
Trustee Ridgway? Supervisor Westrick?
Yes. New business 4, the Township Metro Act, this came in, we've been talking with the county, everybody else. Basically, they want to put a fiber line down Meisner, down 1049, new plant, energy plant, and this is for Raleigh, they have to get it from us, because we have utilities in the right of way. They'll also get one from MDOT, and they'll also get one from the road commission too. And so, I wanted to do some things with the permit that we're not allowed to do. How's that? So we can't tell them where it's got to go. It's got to be within their guidelines. So we've got the completed permit application and the check for it, and we have to go ahead and approve it. So I make a motion to approve the 123 Metro Act permit.
Support.
It's not a formality. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, number 5, right? Is that where we're at?
Yep.
Check approval. Did you get a chance to take a look at this, Treasurer?
Yes.
And any comments on it? You good with that?
Sandy and I both looked at it.
Okay.
Did we,
Make a motion for that, then?
500?
Who wrote this?
No, they're paying us. We're not paying them.
It came over to us.
I was
Sandy
requested to
gave-
draft it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And come up with, what I started with was the basic policy that we had previously, checks issued for payment prior to board approval. That was where I started with the information. And then basically went through our procedures and I guess just step by step of, so we have it documented.
So you wrote it?
Yes,
Okay, okay,
I did.
Updating it and improving on it.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that was motion by you, is that right?
Yes.
And there was support?
Support.
Comments, questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, new business 6, Township Picnic. We have to decide whether we want to do a picnic. Done some reading and some feedback from MTA, and it says that we cannot expend township funds for feeding people, basically. So we would have to get donations or do it differently if we want to do this, so.
This is new information that we just received.
Yeah.
And I started making plans, and then I was informed, I said, well, I want the whole board's, either yes, we continue on as a community,
Recreation project or not,
thing,
so
or
it's-
if the board's no, then it's done. I hate to see us lose that because we've done it for a lot, and it's established, and people are more coming, and it's an enjoyable community gathering. but-
So what's the rule, saying we can't do it now?
You probably can if you vote on it, I guess, but technically the law says that we can't expend funds for such a thing, whether we vote on it or not. I don't know if that's legal, I really don't, but
To provide food.
it's something that I'm not willing to want to go there with.
I'll
you know?
just, the little point of order, it's not a new rule or a new law.
Right.
It's just been
Been there.
resurfaced. You all got the issue of legal expenditures for the township MTA magazine that came just a few months ago, and that resurfaced that conversation again. And so we started looking at how things may be spent that possibly we should examine a little closer, and this came up.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
well, would
I feel that.
would that require input from the community, like you post it, or if they buy in, or we can do that on our own, whether,
Don't,
anyway?
if we can't spend the money, it's not gonna, the community isn't
then-
gonna.
Then why is it coming before the board if you can't do it? You just stop it.
Well, that's what we wanted to communicate.
Well,
to you.
we've been informed through the MTA that it's not a legal expenditure to expend the funds to provide food and drinks at a township function, or, I mean, we can do bounce house, we can do, all the other things, but not.
That's considered
Right.
recreation.
To raise funds for that, you're talking.
Yeah, so we either say, well, you know what, we believe in this project, and this is our community outreach and gathering, and
Well, I think it should go on. I just don't know the right way to go about getting it done.
How much
I mean,
does
we got a
it
great
usually
turnout
cost?
for that, right?
it's usually about a $4,000 budget. It's usually about $500 for music, $2,500 for food, bounce house is $300.
Why don't we look into sponsors? I mean, that's work.
We
to
could,
get that, but
but
Could they have food trucks come in and have
Be like,
community pay?
be like a wedding reception with a cash bar type thing where you gotta buy.
that's a good idea.
that's what I referred to.
Trying to find some type of a solution.
I
Right.
agree, I think the picnic's a good idea, and I think we're getting better support each year for it. But we either have to get a legal opinion on whether we can spend that or not, or approve it as a board.
Well, we're
or-
not supposed to.
You already have a legal opinion.
Yeah.
You can't point to a law that allows you to spend
Right.
taxpayer dollars, so.
So the recommendation would be, no. So
Or we get donations for or donations, or like she's saying, do a food truck with people come in and buy their
Yeah,
pizza
that's
and
a good
drinks.
idea.
Yeah, but the problem with that is you're gonna be guaranteeing a minimum with them to get them to show
Well,
up.
that's true too.
So are you gonna put the township on the hook if people don't buy at
Then
least
you're in the same
50
situation
hamburgers?
where we
You know what I'm
started.
saying? That's a problem.
Yep.
And if we go potluck like it used to, right, then we see that. Then we go
I don't
health
ever
department
remember
involved,
a
and then we
potluck,
have to deal with all
and
that,
I've
so.
been doing it for a long
Then you're taking a chance with
time.
the health.
Yeah, the health department doesn't like
Right.
that, so I don't know.
So maybe at this point, we do not have the township picnic this year, and then think of another way to do a celebration, or maybe look at how other communities are handling.
Yeah.
I know China used to do a Halloween corn roast or something. I don't know if they got the corn donated but that type of thing. I mean, something on a smaller scale maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's a lot of planning ahead, is my
Right.
point.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I've
what I'm
already had
saying.
to
There's
start
just not
booking
enough
things
time to
because
get all that done
cater gets
before-
booked. Everybody's booking.
well, we either decide that we're not gonna have the picnic at all, or we're gonna have the picnic and try to find alternative ways of doing it. And if we can't find that in the next month, I guess, don't do it.
Well, we're gonna have to assign people to the task. So because everyone's busy doing things and, I mean, we can say that, but
Yeah, or just,
somebody's gotta do it.
or at this point, we're not gonna have.
It's a lot
picnic,
more
we have to
time.
Try to come up with something else, whatever we
Right.
can do. Yeah,
Unfortunately. And maybe by next year, we could have something put together where we do get donations and,
if anybody's got
You
any
know?
different ideas, forward them, but as of right now, then we're just not gonna do the picnic.
this year.
Right.
Right.
All right?
It's a bummer.
Stuck between rock and a hard place on that one.
I know.
All right.
All right, so we'll just let that be.
Yeah, no
No
picnic.
picnic this year.
New business 7, non-union retiree healthcare. We have the information for that, right?
Now, this was where I even came up with found out about this was from the notes, doing the notes from your workshop. Last week it was a conversation. So I'm not sure
I think I brought it up during my board comment. I don't
where
know.
or how this even came to be.
It's because I was going through the minutes and then I found this, but
Okay,
it says
which is the minutes of what date?
September 24th of 2018.
2018,
Yeah.
okay. And everybody has a copy of that. I attached it in the back of the, so this is where this comes into question, raises his question. And I, personally, it affects me, because I was a township retiree that fell under this policy that was adopted. It affected 2 people at the time.
The township employee, not board member or anything else. This is you.
Correct, as a township
Right,
employee.
Right.
Okay, so that policy was adopted in 2015. We had an employee that was before the office had union employees. And at the time, the union, we purchased the township's health insurance through the union for their buying power. So we really got good health insurance rates for our employees and retirees. The retirees pay 50% of their costs as retirees. Once Medicare hits, then the limit goes to 200. So we had someone that was retiring without this in place. So this was put into place by the board for that situation. Well, it ended up only, this policy, non-union retiree healthcare, this policy really only affected 2 people, Sharon McCullough and myself, because I retired in 2018. So the motion that Trustee Richley is bringing up, and why I want this clarified so I can have some peace of mind here, because it's never affected me until, I mean, I've been getting the reimbursements right along, the 50%. So when this special meeting happened, it was a meeting to hire the township manager, okay? And then, says the agreement ran, Trustee Blackstock, supported by Blair, moved to rescind the offer of retiree healthcare to non-union administrative employees originally adopted 6/15/2015 as an amendment to the administrative policies, which when it was adopted, it was put into the employee policy book, handbook, and this was before the union again, so this is what we had. And then after this policy, after that motion, it has a statement, the proposed agreement with Cynthia Pepperly states that the executive shall not be eligible for township provided health care.
In the policy?
No, in the motion, in those minutes, the special meeting minutes. It's the last sentence after that motion,
Correct.
what I'm reading. So I was never even aware this happened after the fact, till you brought it up. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So that's why I asked for this to be put on the board for clarification in a new motion to make sure that this isn't going to change or go away, because this was for all employees that receive this benefit under these conditions.
Because my understanding of when I read moved to rescind the offer of retiree health care to non-union administrative employees originally adopted on 6/15/2015 as an amendment to section 12 of the administrative employee policies, and which is this. But I don't know, but see, the other problem too, because I asked for a policy book, I was told it didn't exist. And then now we have so I don't understand what's going on. Like
Well, that administrative policy book was in place before the union came in. Once the union came in the office, their union contract replaced this.
Right.
But this would have been in effect for anyone who retired before that time. Or before the union. I was asked to stay out of the union. The township had the right, and I'll ask former supervisor Larry Simons at the time, why I wasn't part of that, how I fell into
Our attorney
this.
advised us that we could keep one person out of the union to do certain things in the office here that were confidential. And we chose Sandy Smith to stay out of the union as a non-union person. But otherwise, she would have fell into, like the rest of the employees, and would have got the
Coverage.
So when she retired, she had that in place, that 50%.
So,
like everyone else.
Can I ask why? Let me make sure.
And I think what you're looking at, Alan, is
Yeah.
when we hired Cindy,
Yeah.
she came in with no benefits. So that's why I think we passed that any future people would get no benefits, no 50%, because the city would be the only non-union employee here.
Yeah, but the only thing that's confusing to me is how it says, because it doesn't say future, it just says rescind the policy period, and so that's
I
where,
mean, Sandy was already gone, so
Correct.
you don't go back and take things away from people that you gave them already.
but my understanding is, Didn't you were on it, then you were off it, then you got back on?
I stopped asking for reimbursement for a few years in the middle because I didn't need to be reimbursed for medical pay, or for health insurance premiums.
So that was a savings to the township. And you only can be on it till what, you're 65, is that till Medicare?
Till Medicare, but then it goes to 200 instead of 500 max.
All we care about is doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And because I was HR and payroll, that's why they asked me to stay
That was
out
all
of
done
the
in good
union.
faith.
What's that?
That was all done in good faith.
It was.
Correct.
And that should not be rescinded for anything, because
No, not that part of it should have.
That's
been
right.
Part of the rescission.
Cindy was something separate, she came after the fact.
Right.
So that's it's cut and dried, really.
I think it is, I mean, because she was already gone then, and she had those benefits.
So she already earned the benefit.
2 years,
She already earned the benefit.
Right.
and she's the only one that really now even collects it,
Correct. The other person never,
doesn't collect it.
or she could, she just never has.
Okay, so what is it they're asking? Did we clarify that?
Yes, in a motion. So it's put to bed. It's not going to keep coming up later and,
I would say do it at the next meeting because nothing was in the agenda. We had nothing to go on as to what
it was
this
on the
about.
agenda, NB7.
All that was on the agenda was, I'll read it. This is all we had. MB7, non-union retiree healthcare, no cover page. And then we got this tonight. I did not have a copy of this, and I asked for it several times, so I don't understand.
I made these copies just so
Okay.
backup so you would see what I was talking about tonight.
Because I asked for the actual administrative book, because this is number 12, so there's obviously at least 11 more. Where's the book? It doesn't,
The
I don't
administrative
understand.
policy book?
Yeah.
Well, there has to be a copy in the vault somewhere.
Because I was told it no longer exists, which
No, it
I find
exists, we're just
interesting.
redoing the whole thing, so
Well, I thought it was just null and void because of the union
most
council.
of that stuff is all null and void, right? We didn't, just gotta redo the whole thing, and it'll include everything that wasn't applied for contract employees.
Well, the employee policy was for all the employees, and we had over half the township was union. The only ones that became union when all this came in were the 3 office workers. The rest of the township's been union for years.
Right.
Right. It was water and sewer first, then DPW, then they did the supervisors, then the clerical came on last.
I don't know, are we talking about, the issue here, is the whole issue that we're discussing here is just that insurance glitch? We don't,
Just
or are
to
we
clarify that the
discussing the
township-
handbook?
No, we're discussing that, we're gonna.
Just this one
To
issue?
clarify this issue.
So I understand the issue, right? That's kind of what I want to understand, is the issue.
Yeah.
Township book, or whatever the hell we were talking about that existed in the past, can go on the agenda as a different issue, if that's what we want to do. But to clarify this, I think it's already been clarified that you earn the benefit, so you keep it. As far as I'm concerned, that's the way it should be.
So is
And
that
if
your
that's
motion?
what we want to vote on, and I
Is that your
mean, then
motion?
we just do it the way it was written in the first place.
Basically, that this board has determined that employee Sandy Smith is
Retiree,
Earn the
as a
retirement
retired,
benefit.
is eligible for this benefit.
Yes.
continuation of,
Well, and the other employee that,
Right.
so
Yeah.
how are you gonna word that? Because if it's a slippery slope, you start saying that, then other employees that are non-union, are they eligible for it?
I think you should say both, in case the one wants to come back and decides to do it. And there's only the 2, only one's doing
But
it.
I mean, I think that needs to be very clarified, like, it's the 2 former grandfather,
Then put them down by name, so it's clarified.
I'd probably put position down maybe rather than name.
no, continuation of,
You make this too hard.
former employee, now retiree, name?
any retiree as of that date was entitled to that,
Well, there you
is
go.
still entitled
Yeah,
to
that's how
that.
you put it, and then you just put your 2 names on it.
We don't have to put the names on it, any employee that retired at that point.
You said there's only 2.
Well, there's only 2 that are
So
affected.
just put those 2 names down. I don't want to open it up to any retiree. Anybody can come back and claim they were eligible for that.
Just get it because they're all union.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
I
only-
still think you ought to put the names down.
I don't know if that's proper.
Oh, I
to
don't know
put
if
that in
that's
minutes or not.
proper to do that.
Right.
Right, that's what I'm
wouldn't.
getting at.
Okay. I'm new.
Continuation of coverage extended at,
To the 2 employees that
Over
were
my head.
eligible for it at the time.
Again,
Yes.
And,
so I keep you here.
and it was not rescinded to those 2 employees.
at the time.
Read that, Pat.
Continuation of coverage, the continuation of coverage to the 2 employees eligible for this benefit, retiree benefit, at the time of their retirement? Their respective retirement dates.
Okay, is that your motion, Jim? Just say yes.
Yeah.
All right, is there support to that?
Support.
All right. Do we need a roll call?
Let's do roll call.
All right.
Put it in the record. Put it to bed. Roll call vote. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
No.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes.
Clerk Smith? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
New business 8.
Thank you, Larry, for coming in and clarifying, sharing your history and knowledge.
My only time back.
Appreciate it. Okay.
All right, on the DTE local bond, if everyone have a chance to read this through. Basically, we have to go out, try to fund this with donations or whatever else, or decide that we're just gonna do it, and if we get any donations, great. So, at this point, we have 47,000 left to fund. Is that how you all read that?
Right.
So, I mean, we have to decide if we want to do this and get behind it, and at that point, we can go out and try to find the funds, you know, to do some of it if we can, to offset it, but we have to commit, in my opinion, $47,000 to do this.
How much is it, Rick?
It's a $50,000 estimate roughly for moving this locomotive, and I think the Park Commission had $3,200 in it in their budget last year, but I don't think they have anything in it this year. So it would be coming out of our capital improvement, or whatever you want to call it. But, I mean, we have to just decide if this is important and what we want to do. I know the Parks Commission has expressed that that's something they really want to do, and I think it's, you know, everybody talks about the one in Marysville, right?
Well, I think it's really, in how I see it, it's a part of history of our township.
That's right.
DTE has been here for 100 years. You know, it's been part of our community. I think it'd be a really nice, I know it's expensive, but,
Yeah, well, that's an NTE number, you know, we don't know if it's gonna cost that much or not, but it could cost up to that.
right?
Mr. Howard felt that that number would be more than sufficient to cover and move.
And that includes like locking everything up and all that stuff, like to where it's, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta modify
think-
a lot, so
I
kids
believe
can get hurt
so.
on it too.
Isn't there no chance of getting a grant or something for that?
Yeah, I think he got all that donated.
There is possibly we can get out there, but we're at a point now where we have to either commit or not
Okay,
commit.
yeah, okay, I'm with you. So that'll follow.
Worst case, we're not gonna get money from anybody else.
All right.
We're gonna spend $47,000.
Worst case scenario.
So,
All right.
that makes it just easy and sends a message that we're ready to do it.
Right.
We're committed to do it, let's get it rolling.
$50,000 the total cost to get this thing from the plant over to the park and situated on the foundation and everything?
The foundation has already been approved.
They're covering it.
You know,
Well, that's already allotted?
yes, the
Yeah,
donations have already been.
basically, it's the locomotive sitting there ready for the kids to climb on.
Right, it's just to transport it.
We've already started then.
And, you know, this enables us to get going on a lot of that.
Maybe it would be something the board should go and visit the locomotive and see what it is. Does anybody know what it is?
Parks Commission has already seen it, yeah.
Well, they've already went over it.
Seen a picture. Didn't actually go physically see it, but they saw the picture, yeah.
Because it's not like the one in Marysville.
No.
No,
Totally different.
that's coal-fired.
That's coal-fired. So it'll be more streamlined.
Yeah, a little more
It
modern,
won't have the climbability that
yeah.
the one in Marysville has for the kids.
Gonna need to be painted?
I don't know if it needed to be painted or not, or leave it the way it is, you know? If it did get painted, I'd want it painted the same color as it was when it was in service, I would think, but
Right.
Does that come under the park then to maintain it then?
they'd have to maintain it.
The parks approved this?
Yeah, they did.
Or another park?
All right, well, I will make a motion to move forward and allocate up to 50,000, not to exceed 50 for
47.
the, 47?
Yeah, we got 3,200 already.
Okay,
that right?
47,000
What? Oh.
to move the locomotive for transportation to the park.
Yeah, leave it 50,000.
Leave it 50,
I think so, just because we
not
don't
to
know.
exceed,
Right,
up to 50,000.
I'll fill the fund number in later.
Okay.
Is there support to that?
I'll support it.
All right, any other comments or questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call, Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Horn?
No.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yeah.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes. Thank you. New business 9, cross-connection compliance. Mr. Loper, would you like to elaborate on this a little bit?
Pardon me?
I'm done talking for a little bit. I'll let you enlighten them on this.
Everything that they should need to know is included in the request. If they have questions, I'd be happy to field those.
Basically, they do all the testing and not, this is for another 2-year agreement, residential and commercial.
I just wanted to thank you for giving us the agreement to read ahead of time. Thank you.
Absolutely. When possible, I'll try to always do that.
Thank you.
Anybody got any comments or questions on it?
No.
A lot of money for, you gotta do it.
Right.
Is there a motion to either approve this?
So move.
Is there support?
The motion is to approve a 2-year renewal service agreement, proposal from HydroCoke for amount not to exceed $25,230 to manage a residential CCC program. This will be paid in 12 monthly installments, $1,030.67, beginning September 1st of '25, and shall renew in 12 months at a rate of $1,073.86 per month. And to approve the 2-year renewal service agreement proposal from HydroCorp for an amount not to exceed $8,759 to manage a residential CCC program. This will be paid in 12 monthly installments, $357.83, beginning September 1st of '25, and shall renew in 12 months at a rate of $372.13 per month.
I believe that's a typo, though. That shouldn't be residential CCC in front of that one.
Second one?
Yes, it should.
I thought it says commercial.
Oh, it should be non-residential. I apologize.
The second one?
Second one should be non. Sorry,
Okay.
thank you, Vern.
Residential.
Yep. All right. Did we get a support?
I'll support that. Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call vote. Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yeah.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes.
Thank you.
Again, this year, we have to go out and confirm water services are not lead, as quoted in the state. We're gonna do it a little bit different. instead of paying someone to do each one, it's just better that we do it ourselves with a fact machine. So we're just gonna get an approval to use the Morgan Excavating at a $26.75 a day. They're gonna inspect and identify up to 40 lines a day, and then won't go over 4 days. This has been budgeted in our general fund for this year too. We're just doing a little bit better so we can actually get more of them done than we did before. And when we control it, we'll restore it, and then we'll have the complaints. So hopefully it'll be that better, so.
And these are our own service lines?
These are service lines to houses that the federal, the state is making us inspect. We've been doing this, a DWAN program.
Right, I know we're inspecting it, but we're paying this to the house?
No, we gotta pay to inspect these to see if they're not lead, to make sure they're not lead.
So we're only paying for the inspection services?
At this point, and then we have to go back and.
To be clear, if there's another request, you're required to pay for the replacement as well when we find those that are lead or galvanized previously connected to lead.
We are?
We are.
The township?
The township.
Private?
As required by the lead and copper rule, as dictated through the Environmental Protection Agency, yes.
Yeah, we budgeted for 5 this year.
You gotta be kidding me.
Nope.
It's a can of worms.
Oh, it's been going on for a couple of years.
Yep.
But I didn't think we had to pay to replace the, I thought we just did the
The
inspection.
DWAM was a grant that we got reimbursed for, but that's over. They want 100% inspection by the end of 2030, I think.
About 40 years.
Oh.
Yikes.
Anyway.
So this is an ongoing
I'm
program.
sorry, 2040.
That will be.
Yep. 2040?
2040.
That's what I thought. I knew there was an end date on it. So anyway, I move we go ahead and accept the proposal for Morgan Excavating for $26.75 a day, not to exceed 4 days, for inspection of lead and non-lead services.
I'll support.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Clerk, please call.
Roll call vote. Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yeah.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes. Business 11 is train bridge, bike path fence, rehab.
Back to the old train bridge, eh? Here it comes again.
Yeah, we're not doing the tap ramp, as you all remember, that we decided that was not gonna happen.
The one in the park.
We're gonna fix it up to what we need for our purposes as a bike path.
That's the one way down at the south end.
And the other ones are fences are gonna get done as well in this. What's the 7,500? Not to exceed 7,500. Okay. If we go with the darker stain. So anyway, we need 7,500 for this, right?
Yeah, and we did plan on this in our capital
DPW
project.
Replace broken boards. Okay, so DPW is going to replace the broken boards and any necessary repairs. Work is complete, new and existing boards, weatherproofing.
Yep.
Okay, so then this is,
I make a motion, we go ahead and approve Decorite Power Washing, accept their bid for an NTE of $7,500 for the bridges.
I'll
support.
support.
This one?
On.
Okay, any other comments, you guys, questions? Not, clerk, please call.
Roll call vote. Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebuk?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yeah.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Westrick?
Yes.
Thank you.
You just so asked about those services that got to get replaced, Ms. Clerk? Here it is.
Yeah, this is the one that caught my attention.
Yep.
That's why I was,
This is one of them, and we're gonna try a contractor that had a good price on us. We're gonna make sure that we're happy with it first. We do have to do more of these this year. We budgeted already. But we're gonna go ahead and do the one right now. Isn't that right, Dwayne?
Correct.
did you say we did get grant money for this?
No. That was DWAM, and that was only inspection only the last couple of years. So, this is all from Flint Water, you can thank that. But anyway, we discussed it with them. Dwayne went in great detail with contractors and what we gotta do, and I think it's a good option.
Yeah, and as grant funds become available, we'll
We could try,
be
we just have
diligent
to
to
pick
try
away
to
at
apply
it.
for those.
Sure,
We're hoping that they'll
Okay.
come out with something new next year, but
right,
don't know.
to help all these communities.
All programs get
all
cut, you
this.
just don't know.
Make you do it and then don't give you any backup.
I make a motion to approve the proposal from HDT Services for 3903. To replace the galvanized water line, and that's at 1545
Oh, yeah,
Bell
it
River.
does, yeah.
I'll support.
All right, any other comments, you guys? Not, please go.
Roll call vote, Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebak?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yeah.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Ruster?
Yes. All right, new business 13. We're on the back page, in case anyone wanted.
Thank God.
All right, Michigan Pipe Inspection has been doing this for years for us. This is our 12th month again. We go through and clean the manholes and the sewer lines. That's what we do. We've had this budgeted for quite a few years now. So, comments, questions on this one? Make a motion to approve the annual agreement with Michigan Pipe Inspection, $99,598.70.
Support.
All right, clerk, please call the roll. No questions, comments, you guys? We've all seen this before. The
Clerk
new
Smith,
members.
yes. Treasurer Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Bebak?
Yes.
Trustee Klein?
Yeah.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Supervisor Ruster?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is 14, counting. Please find attached the bidding policy, and it's a draft, the proposed revised purchasing and bidding policy. We went through and updated it, commensurate with a lot of other communities. I think the last time it was done was in 2013. Am I right with that comment?
Yeah, it's
I
right
think you have the
there.
current one that I left on your desk.
Yeah, right there. So, just want to present it here at the meeting, take a look at it. Comments, questions, please send them over, and we'll go ahead and take a look at it, approve this at the next meeting, all right?
The next meeting?
Yeah. And new business 15 is the same thing. It's a draft of the employee handbook that we were just asking about, Mr. Richley.
Yeah.
This is the new one that includes some of the stuff from before, but mostly all new. Everybody had a chance, I know, to read it thoroughly, page by page.
No, I really do.
What do you mean, no? You've had since Thursday. Anyway, take a look at this too as well. We'll talk about this at the next meeting, you guys.
For MB 14, who wrote the bidding policy? Who wrote that?
I work with our big township manager, and I were working on that together.
Okay.
Found some research on other places that are doing what.
What about MB 15?
Same thing.
Both you and the township manager?
Actually, she was doing most of the work on that.
Okay.
I acknowledged that she was working on it, though. Does that count? So, anyway, it's a lot to absorb, and that's why I wanted to just make sure you had it tonight.
Okay, so next meeting, it'll be,
Yeah, that'll be under old business. So,
okay,
all right.
all right.
Some letters of communication here. We saw that. Comments? That? Nothing?
Nothing, I'm sorry, no.
Deb? I just want to talk about a little bit about our board. I think we're kind of getting through it here, coming together. I'll wait till you speak, but
Yeah.
a lot of times, a lot of the comments that are made now don't necessarily represent the rest of the board's opinions. And once they're discussed, I really don't wish to see them rehashed again. If we've made the decision on something, I think we move on with that. So hopefully try to keep that in mind when we talk about things. You know, if it's already been in front of the board and you've made our decisions, it's basically your position that you should go ahead and acknowledge that the board has made a decision on that already and move on. So that's all I have to say.
No, I'm fine.
I generally agree with that, generally, but I mean, like Supervisor Simons once said, I believe it was his last meeting when he said, you know, once the gavel hits, you know, you go home and blah, 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 you know. I agree with that generally, but it's like when things are affecting to a point to where water rates are out of control, we're the highest tax township in the entire county, and even when you don't include the taxable value thing, when we're the highest in the entire county as well. Something I want to respond to, something that was said at public comment. I mean, first off, there's not one thing that I said in the Facebook post that I posted this morning that's not true. Contrary to what was said, the board does provide vision, life insurance, pension for board members if they so choose.
Nope.
And so
Vision, people have to pay their own vision. It's always been that way.
That's not-
SVS.
that's not correct.
Board members pay for their own vision if they
That's
choose to, yes. It was an employee benefit, and it was offered to the board as a, paid out of their pocket every month. It's always been that way.
And I called several months ago to see about getting vision or whatever, and it is not given to us. We have to pay for it.
That's not the paperwork that I have at my house.
It's been that way forever, since I've been doing payroll for,
But what's
Way back.
interesting, what's interesting is that you look at other townships that have full-time, you know, clerks, supervisors, treasurers. They don't have pensions. They don't have insurance of any kind, and I find it interesting. I think it's we do, and our board members here are paid average. We do less than the average here, and I mean, there's no debate on that. I mean, supervisor, clerk, treasurer, with all due respect, you don't do what other surrounding communities, it's not the same. I mean, and we say that, oh, we have a water and sewer plan, or we have this, we have that. It doesn't matter. We have a township manager when no other township in the entire county has one. We have a director of public services, no other township in the county has one. And I mean, it just goes on and on, but you were gonna say something, I'm sorry.
I just want to, and I've said this to you before, and you brought this up the other time with the benefit pension of the board. The trustees make like $2,400 a year. 10% is what you're calling a pension. So $240 a year is going into your pension account. If you call that a pension.
Not in mine. I have not.
The trustees all get this put in, I don't know if you're calling that's what you're calling a pension. Okay, so each person's salary, it's a 10%.
I don't care if it's $1.
That's put in there.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, well.
But the other thing.
I don't know how anybody's going to retire on a pension with $240 a year for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the amount.
It's being exaggerated, in my opinion.
Well, sure, but the amounts for you, the supervisor, treasurer, are a lot more than that.
It's 10%.
Yeah.
It's been that way since beginning of time.
1981.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's something new. And as far as the water and sewer rates, we just had to replace all of our water infrastructure through the whole township, sewer infrastructure. Unfortunately, it wasn't bonded, so now we have to pay for it. And unfortunately, it is affecting our rates.
Well, you mentioned.
We have to pay for it one way or another.
That's part of it. That's part of it, but employee
taxes than any other
salaries.
township, and that might be true, but does every other township have what we have? No. We're a city, in a sense. We pay for fire, police, water sewer plants, have our own DPW, everything. We're more like a city than we are a township.
Correct. With the services that we provide.
With our administrative staff, we spend more than a city. I mean, that's, when you compare.
Well, regardless,
Rates
there's
are the same
reasons behind things. This just didn't happen overnight. All of a sudden, we got a new board, and now the rates are going through the ceiling.
No, that's not what I suggested.
These things have been in place and in motion for a long time. It's been up and coming that we have to address these things, and they've been addressed, and now we have to pay the piper. None of us like it. We're all in the same boat, but there's reasons behind things. We can all complain and preach, and it's not going to do any good. The facts are there of why we have to do the things we do and how we got to where we are.
We put all of our, everything we do is one millage. Other townships don't do it that way. They do.
Most of them do, but
No.
some do, like China Township has different villages and stuff like that,
Well,
but
I've got property owned in 3 different other townships, and I looked at the bills this morning. They all have, most of them have trash pickup as a separate millage. They have
Correct.
police and fire, separate millage. Roads, separate millage.
Parks,
Parks is a separate millage too, but their police and fire is different.
where, I don't know of any around
0.2
here that
mils for
have.
China Township. Yeah, look at the bill. Go over there and ask. I have a bill, so I didn't have to go very far.
I looked at the total.
Their local roads
look
did
at
not
the
pass this year, this last election, so they
What's
aren't
that?
doing any local roads anymore.
Oh, correct. 'Cause
Yeah, that was one
failed.
mill.
Yeah,
You start adding those mills up. See, ours is all in one little bundle of one rate. Theirs is all separated out, so you don't see that as much.
we're almost to the max too. We're like,
We are for a township, but again, take a look at the cities and what their millages are.
right, but they also have, full-time police department, they have their, a lot of other, things, but anyway,
They're on the same fire authority we are.
right.
Now I know where you're coming from. I didn't know about anything on Facebook, but I think as a board, it's a shame that we're carrying on business outside of here. If we want to settle problems and improve the township, and I just got elected, but I think we should do it as a board, right here, with all of us working together, rather than going out and put some on Facebook. I think that's ridiculous.
I
Well,
agree.
we have water rates. We have water rates to
Well,
review
wait a minute.
again.
Let's schedule
Coming
it.
up, we're gonna have a budget review again coming up, and that's the time to talk about this stuff.
And during our last workshop, I attempted to, facilitate the discussion, and then there was just, talking over each other and all that, and it's like, I'm done with that. It's like, if we're gonna do that, then fine. I'll bring it out to the people, and the people can decide what they believe, but,
Well, the people need to decide whether they're happy with paying their taxes at the rate they are and the services that they're getting. If
Correct.
they're not, then they need to come and say that.
correct. I agree.
Our services are a lot different than most other places.
I agree.
or Townships.
I agree.
If I read something like that on Facebook, I live right down the street here, if I read something like that on Facebook, and I had to come in here and sit in one of these chairs like one of these folks here, and listen to what goes on in this building, everything you did would be over our head. People don't just walk in and understand
All of our
the packet we put together.
budget workshops.
So you go on Facebook and you
Water
get
and
people
sewer rates,
excited and they have
they're
no
open to the public.
idea what this board's dealing with to try and pay the bills. I mean, you can create a shitstorm over nothing. This thing that's out of our hands, that was done back in
It's not-
1981.
it's not-
Wait a minute. It was done back in 1981,
You're talking
right?
about the pension. You're
Well,
talking.
whatever,
That's
whatever.
No.
We can maybe fix it, but we aren't gonna fix it by going on Facebook.
The issue with the water and sewer rates, we can talk about, rather not talk about this during a televised thing, but the township manager's $30,000 raise, and then after that saying, well, things aren't getting done, so we have to hire another employee. That's an issue. That's part of the reason why water rates have gone up, and that's part of the, just like they had that meeting, and we're looking at the cash flow, and the cash, we're about to be broke when it comes to the amount of money in there. We have no money to, for a rainy day. We have no fund balance there. So at that point, it's gonna go up a lot more. And decisions are gonna have to be made. And people are gonna have to, I think we increased it, 10%? It was supposed to be 15, we increased it 10, and that wasn't even including when we kicked in the health insurance, as far as I remember.
You talking about the water rates?
Correct.
I believe it was 10 and 5, I believe. Water was 10, sewer was 5, I don't remember.
But we hemmed and hawed, and then we're like, well, we'll knock it down so it's not as much, but then you see the cash flow on the graph, and it's like, we're gonna be at zero.
Well, one of the things we're trying to do is eliminate the general fund contributions to water and sewer rates. That's something the board previous to when I was here is allowed to happen. And it's not right. State says they don't want it to happen that way either. We're putting to the tune of almost $1 million, which is a third of our budget, in the water and sewer funds, subsidizing those rates right now. So if you want to eliminate those rates, or the subsidies that are going into there, you're gonna have to raise the rates or cut costs.
That's not
So you're gonna have
what I'm talking about, but.
So you just said our rates are too high.
Correct.
How do you fix it?
you look at administrative costs that are astronomical.
Well,
that
we've
are-
got to come up with first $1 million that comes out of our general fund.
Yeah, it's more than just the 30 grand.
The previous boards have been allowing this to happen, and I don't agree with it. And neither does the state of Michigan. You should charge what it costs to produce a gallon of water and treat a gallon of sewage to the customer. Because my argument is why am I subsidizing a high using rate? Let's say the hospital has a whole bunch of water and sewer that they use. In a sense, our taxpayer dollars are subsidizing that rate to be lower. Is that fair?
Well, they're paying more than a residential.
They're paying commercial, but it's still subsidizing the rates, because if the true rate covered all of the costs, we didn't have to take any money out of our general fund, the rate would be higher.
Which it's already
Which
pretty
these are
high.
budget discussions.
Right.
You want to talk about to fix
That's when
these
we
things?
can change
That's what we
things.
do. We'll have
Not in
plenty
the
of
middle
work
of
sessions
the
coming up for the water and sewer rates,
year.
for the budget for the year and everything else. And any ideas are more than welcome.
You already know my ideas. I shared them at the last workshop. But I have more. So, do we do background checks on people that we hire?
Yes, we do.
What, what's entailed in that?
I don't have that answer. That's administrative.
So with this new DPW hire, was there was a background check on this person?
They were requested to fill out the paperwork. I don't know if they have yet or not.
And to be clear, I did ask for a closed session for these questions, so, and I was refused, so. I guess my question is, because I mean, if, between Google, you know, there's like 10 different articles, the court records, all this, I mean, you could go on, but I see a lot of concerns, and I read through the reports of both our township manager, director of public services, and I saw the person's officially hired as of the 5th.
He was offered the employment, and he had to fill out all the paperwork to get back.
So I think there's a lot of issues that, I mean, just from reading different things, I mean, I think that, isn't there a rule that if you're dealing with money or credit cards for government type stuff, like aren't there rules for?
In the past, we had a subscription with the Michigan State Police, and that's who did our background check. We had a subscription with the state of Michigan, and that's how we conducted the background checks. I don't know that that's still the format that we use, but I will say again, which I said to you in your email, responded to you, we have competent staff that has been hired to handle hiring procedures. We have everything in place. This isn't their first rodeo. We let our staff handle the hiring process. This board has no business going down that road. What you're bringing up at a township board meeting, talking about a prospective employee.
I agree that it's not.
This is not our place,
Well,
or our role.
That's correct.
No.
We said that,
We
said
have
every
staff
meeting.
that take care of
It is.
this.
It is not our place. That's what they were.
It's inappropriate
How?
discussing this right now here.
But I agree. That's why I asked for a closed session.
But it's not
which
our
you said
business.
no,
And I
so-
not our
suggested
business.
to you, you make an appointment with the people that do the hiring, one-on-one, come in the office during regular business hours, discuss your concerns with them, and done. It just never gets to here. It should never be here right now. This is not our
Have you read
place.
the things that I'm
And based
talking
on
about?
I don't
It doesn't
go on
matter. It
Facebook.
doesn't
and-
Enough. This is based on
Doesn't matter.
member comments. Make your comments and be done.
That's what I'm doing.
Thank you.
But yeah, because.
You don't solicit a response. You get around a response, we'll respond to you
Well,
after we talk to staff. Okay?
Okay, and
Continue.
I was trying to say something and I got interrupted and I was,
Well, you can continue to say it.
Okay.
We're not here to answer all these questions.
okay,
If you
so,
have questions, you should direct them to staff.
okay. And so, thank you. So anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is if you actually look up these things, that's where it is our responsibility. Assaulting an employee, allegedly, you know, all this stuff. pleading guilty to that and then losing a liquor license to their bar
Can't say
over
those
that
things.
issue? No, yeah, you can.
I
It's
don't
things
think-
that actually happen.
No, I,
Continue. Make your comments.
But the point that I'm making is that, yes, that is something that we should be concerned with and we should be, and again, it should have been in closed session, but anyway, on remote work, I'm gonna bring this up again, but I believe that all employees should be either allowed remote work or not. Not executive level employees are allowed to.
I answered your question last time on this. Nobody works remotely here anymore after COVID.
Except for the one day, the snow day or whatever. But I mean, but I also think that there needs to be office hours of when executive level employees should be here.
Okay,
When the
continue.
office is open. And
I
so,
answered that question for you too.
what's that?
The contract states their work hours. You want to change their work hours, you negotiate the contract.
It says that they will be here when we tell them to be, and so.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Continue.
Is there any update on the capital improvement plan?
They're working on right now, building inventories for the water sewer plant. EW is going to do a reliability study to find out where we're at with everything. And then we'll know from there where we got to do with capital improvement plan. There is one now, but we're going to make it much more thorough.
Is there a timeline? Or no?
Well, reliability study is going to take at least a couple months, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you'd like me to engage or not.
Absolutely.
I'd be happy to meet with you during business hours to discuss what a living CIP looks like. There's no end date.
Well, right.
So I'd be happy to meet with you directly about those things.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then,
He stated that, let me go back, he stated that for the last 3 meetings going. He'd be happy to, and I've yet to schedule with you to go through the plans like you offered to me, and it's my fault. But he stated that for I don't know how many of the last meetings, any questions you got, make appointment with him and see him, or Cindy, same thing. So all the stuff you're bringing up could have been handled already.
that's not true. It was
Yes,
been
it is
talked about
true.
for 4 years, Jim. You've been here 3 months, so trust me.
I know.
So anyway, is there any update on the staff directory thing? Elected official directory?
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Phone numbers,
Yeah.
contact
The
list.
phone call list?
Yep.
I have an up-to-date copy. Yeah.
Can we get that?
I believe they were all sent a copy.
No, I
If
didn't
they
get one.
did, I didn't get
He
one.
asked it at the last meeting, it was in the minutes, but I haven't seen that.
All right,
Maybe
well,
it just
have-
got,
Have the girl that takes care of that, send it to
there's
them.
been a lot
and,
of things up in the air and the fire, coals in the fire lately, so this might have
Yep.
just got missed.
And the last one was already taken care of, the policy book thing, so that's all I've got.
Anything else? If not,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
for support?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.